Welcome back to our channel, fellow General Hospital addicts. Today is another wild, unpredictable day in Port Charles, and we have an absolute mountain of drama to unpack together. Grab your coffee, tea, or whatever gets you through the emotional roller coaster because we are diving deep into the latest explosive episode. Let's get right into it. I cannot believe they just did that. I am literally typing this at 2 in the morning because my brain will not shut off after watching that absolute train wreck of an ending. And I just need to get this out of my system before I explode. Are you kidding me right now? You guys know I have been watching this show religiously since 2015, and I have seen some truly unhinged, devastating storylines in my time as a fan, but this takes the cake. I am so mad, so stressed, and honestly, a little bit in awe of how spectacularly everything just blew up in Curtis Ashford's face. We all knew it was coming, right? We all saw the writing on the wall the second he threw that massive punch at Isaiah Gannon. But I did not expect the writers to rip our hearts out like this. But wait, I am getting ahead of myself. Let me take a deep breath. Okay, back to the point. Let's start from the beginning of the episode where everything seems so deceivingly, beautifully perfect. Trina Robinson, our sweet, precious Trina, who has been through absolute hell and back over the last few years. I just wanted to do something nice for her family. She threw this beautiful, radiant baby shower for Portia, and the room was just gorgeous. You could just feel the joy radiating off the screen. Portia was glowing. She looked so happy, so at peace, which is frankly a total miracle considering how infuriated she has been with Curtis lately over the whole Isaiah situation. I mean, let's be real for a second. Curtis literally jeopardized Derek's liver transplant and potentially ended Isaiah's entire surgical career because of his toxic male ego. But for one afternoon, they put it aside. Trina argued that everyone needed a little joy, and she delivered a picture-perfect party. It was soft, it was emotional, and it was a classic General Hospital setup for absolute disaster. I should have known. We all should have known. Whenever a soap opera gives you 5 minutes of pure, unadulterated happiness and smiling faces, they are about to drop a nuclear bomb on your favorite characters. And then the doors open. Enter ADA Justine Turner, flanked by the Port Charles Police Department. I actually screamed at my television. I knocked my popcorn off the table. I know some people are loving this Justine lays down the law arc, but personally, I was shaking with anxiety. Justine did not come to play. She marched right into that baby shower, past the pastel balloons, past the little wrapped gifts, looking like the absolute grim reaper of justice. The sheer audacity to crash a pregnant woman's baby shower. But you know what? Part of me was secretly screaming, yes, Justine, get him. Because Curtis has been so insufferably stubborn about this whole thing. Because he refused to take responsibility. He stood there day after day, telling anyone who would listen that Isaiah had no one to blame but himself. Curtis, you decked a brilliant surgeon and shattered his hand. What did you think was going to happen? You cannot just walk around Port Charles assaulting people and expect your business partner, Michael Corinthos, or your ex-wife Jordan, to magically make it go away like they always do. The arrogance of this man has been driving me up the wall for weeks, and seeing the reality check hit him was wild. Speaking of Jordan, can we talk about her for a second? Jordan Ashford practically begging Justine to stop. Jordan, who is usually so composed, so by the book, so professional, pleading with her friend to just wait, to not do this here, to not do this now in front of everyone. It was heartbreaking to watch. But Justine was having absolutely none of it. She executed that arrest warrant for felony assault and battery right then and there. She chose the law over her friendship with Jordan, and honestly, I have to respect it. Even if the timing was completely diabolical. Justine looked Jordan dead in the eye and basically said she was doing her job. And she did. She slapped those cuffs on Curtis right in the middle of the party. The humiliation of it all the guests whispering the shock on their faces, Trina looking absolutely horrified. The whole picturesque family moment shattering into a million tiny pieces. You could see the exact moment Curtis realized that he couldn't talk his way out of this one. His money, his influence at Aurora, his past as a cop, none of it mattered. He was just a guy in handcuffs ruining his wife's special day. But then, oh my god, then the real nightmare started. The stress, the absolute suffocating tension in that room. You could physically see the toll it was taking on Portia. The camera panned to her face, and the sheer terror and trauma just washed over her. And then it happened. Her water broke. Portia collapsed in agonizing pain, going into premature labor right there on the floor amidst the fallen decorations. I was hyperventilating on my couch. This wasn't just a dramatic soap faint. This was a trauma-induced early labor. The psychological shock of seeing her husband arrested for a violent felony right after they had been fighting so bitterly about his refusal to take accountability. It just broke her body's limits. The actress deserves an Emmy for that scene alone. The way she screamed, the way she clutched her stomach, the sheer panic in her eyes. It was visceral. It was raw. It was some of the best, most anxiety-inducing television this show has produced in years. I felt like I was in the room with them panicking and not knowing what to do. And what does Curtis do? He is helpless. For the first time in his life, Mr. Fix-It, the guy who always has a plan, the guy who thinks he is above the consequences, is completely and utterly powerless. The cops are dragging him out the door. He is fighting against the handcuffs, twisting his head back, watching the woman he loves scream in agony on the floor. He is being hauled away to a squad car while his wife is experiencing a life-threatening medical emergency. It was poetic justice, but it was also so incredibly cruel. I found myself crying for him. And I have been hating Curtis for weeks. That is the magic of this show, guys. They make you despise a character's actions. And then they break them down so thoroughly that you cannot help but pity them. He just kept looking back, his eyes wide with this primal terror. Realizing that his own toxic pride is the reason he's missing the birth of his child. He built this cage, and now he has to sit in it while his family falls apart. So, they drag him down to the PCPD. And this is where I really lost my mind and started yelling at the screen again. We get to the station, and Curtis is in full panic mode. He is begging, literally begging for just one phone call. He just wants to know if Portia is okay. He wants to know if his baby is going to survive this premature labor. And Justine is a wall of ice. She looks at him and says they are following protocol. No special treatment, no quick check-ins. You are a felony suspect, and you will be processed like one. Am I the only one who felt a chill down their spine during that scene? Because on one hand, Justine is being a total monster. The man's wife is in premature labor. Just let him use the phone for 2 minutes. But on the other hand, Curtis brought every single ounce of this upon himself. He escalated the fight with Isaiah. He threw the punch. He showed zero remorse. And now, in the most critical, terrifying moment of his entire life, he is completely isolated. He is sitting in an interrogation room, staring at the walls, completely cut off from his family when they need him the most. I mean, think about the history here. Remember when they tried a similar hubris storyline with Sonny years ago, where his actions directly led to a crisis and he was locked out of the room, unable to help? Yeah, didn't work then to make us completely sympathetic, and I am struggling to feel fully sympathetic now. I have been watching this show for so long, and I am so tired of the men in Port Charles thinking they can just punch their way out of their feelings and face zero consequences. Curtis thought he was untouchable. He thought because he was Curtis Ashford, former cop, Aurora media partner, that the rules did not apply to him. He practically laughed in Portia's face when she told him he ruined Isaiah's career. He told Michael Corinthos he might face some legal trouble, like it was a minor inconvenience. Well, guess what, Curtis? The consequences have arrived, and they are wearing a badge and a pantsuit, and they are not letting you make a phone call. And we really need to talk about Trina and all of this. My heart aches so much for that girl. She just wanted to celebrate her mother. She's been caught between Portia and Curtis for weeks, trying to play peacemaker, trying to see both sides of this messy conflict. She even defended Curtis a little bit to Portia, saying Isaiah baited him, and this is her reward. Watching her stepfather get arrested for a violent felony and her mother collapse in a high-risk premature labor at a party she organized, Trina is going to need so much therapy after this. How is she supposed to look at Curtis the same way again? Kai Taylor is supposed to be bringing her some difficult information soon. And I can only imagine it is about the reality of Curtis's charges. He is facing real prison time. This isn't a slap on the wrist. This is a felony assault that destroyed a surgeon's hands. And Trina is going to have to carry the weight of her family shattering all over again. So what happens now? I am dreading the next few episodes, but I also cannot wait to watch them. Will the baby survive? They cannot kill off this baby, right? The writers wouldn't be that cruel to Portia after everything she has been through. But Portia is in early labor, and she is under immense psychological distress. If something happens to that child, Portia will never ever forgive Curtis. Their marriage is already on thin ice because of his stubbornness and his secrets. This could be the final nail in the coffin. And honestly, I wouldn't blame her. I know some people are loving the ride or die couples on this show, but personally, I think Portia deserves better than a man who puts his ego above his family's peace, she warned him. She told him how much damage he was doing, and he just brushed her off. Now she is fighting for her baby's life in a hospital while he is locked in the police station. Also, what is going to happen with Justine and Jordan? Jordan put her neck on the line trying to stop this arrest at the party. Justine completely ignored her pleas. Is their friendship over? I kind of hope not, because Port Charles desperately needs a strong ADA who actually prosecutes crimes instead of just letting the mob and the rich folks do whatever they want. But Jordan is fiercely loyal to her people. And watching Curtis get humiliated like that is going to sting for a long time. Justine proved that she is not going to play favorites, which is great for the law, but terrible for her social life in this town. And let's not forget Michael Corinthos in all this. Curtis literally just told Michael he might need him to cover his Aurora duties if things go sideways. Well, things just went completely off a cliff. Michael was so busy plotting his weird, twisted cheating trap for Willow and Chase, trying to use Brooklyn's hit-and-run secret to blow up her marriage, that he probably doesn't even realize his business partner is currently sitting in a holding cell while his wife is in early labor. The absolute chaos in this town right now is staggering. Everyone is so wrapped up in their own toxic drama that they don't see the real tragedies happening right next door. It just feels like everything is exploding all at once on General Hospital right now. We have the Windermere break-ins with Danny and Charlotte Jocelyn fighting for her life against Cassius, the whole Rocco and Britt runaway situation causing Lulu and Dante to lose their minds, and now this massive tragedy at the baby shower. The writers are definitely earning their paychecks this month, I will give them that. But this Curtis storyline, this is the one that is hitting me the hardest because it is so grounded in human flaw. There are no secret twins, no mind control, no magical masks or weather machines. It is just a proud, stubborn man who made a terrible, violent mistake, refused to apologize, and is now losing absolutely everything because of it. It feels so real, and that is why it hurts so much to watch.